This is the most expensive 10mm socket you could buy in the world, and it's a very special socket. It is a beryllium copper socket, also known as a no spark socket. Now, if all this sounds new to you, you're in the right place because this is super cool. First off, the technology for this, or the engineering, let me think of it. Yeah, the engineering for all of this was originated with bomb making. And it makes sense. If you think about it, whenever they're putting together bombs and detonators and all of that, you definitely don't want to have a spark. You don't want to be working on a bomb and then somebody's like, hey Bob, you look over, whoop, boom, you spark your regular socket or your ratchet or your wrench against another piece of metal and boom. Now, if you think about it, it makes sense. Majority of your tools are made out of like a steel alloy or a metal. And whenever you hit something like a metal together, you have a spark. And whenever you're dealing with like stuff like explosions or bombs or demolition, you need tools like this. And this is why this was originally built. Now, this is used in aerospace. NASA uses stuff like this. This is used with like certain electronics. Now, the funny thing is that it has two main properties. There's no spark, and also it's not magnetic. So it's very popular in the electronics field. Wherever you're working on things, you don't want to have like a magnet because certain small little electronic components are very sensitive to magnets or anything that's magnetic because it could hurt it. So when we're talking about beryllium copper, it is non-magnetic and it's also no spark. Now, the really neat thing is that this is about 97 to 98% copper, and then it's about 1 to 2%, it varies, of beryllium. But whenever you combine the two, you make the copper super strong. Now, if you don't know about copper, it's usually considered a softer metal, but whenever you mix the beryllium in there, it makes it actually pretty strong. Now, it's not as strong as like your regular sockets, but it's about 80% strong, and that's a big difference from just your regular copper, which is crazy. Now, we have to talk about some scary stuff here because beryllium is a cool type of metal, or whatever you want to call it, earth metal or whatever. But for human beings, it is considered one of the most toxic things out there in the world. As a matter of fact, OSHA labels it as one of the most toxic things, and that you have to be very careful. And it's toxic in the realm of respiratory, meaning if you breathe it in. As a matter of fact, I could touch this and I'm okay. But if I chisel it, or if I sand it, or if I chip it and I inhale this mixture in there, it's actually very, very harmful and can cause irreversible lung damage. So one thing you need to know about these cool tools is you definitely never want to sand it. So if you're ever dealing with this stuff, don't sand it. Now, some of you guys out there have watched Landman. If you haven't, I will not give you a spoiler, but in the show, you will know that they definitely needed one of these because a no spark tool is so critical in so many environments. Now, let's talk about the price. Your regular sockets could vary anywhere from $10, $20, $30. I know some of you Snap-on guys might pay the Snap-on tax for some additional $50 sockets, but these are usually 5 to 10 times more expensive than the most expensive sockets out there. This is over $100. You heard that right, $100 for a socket, which is crazy. But it makes sense because it's a specialty socket. But what makes it neat is that we're able to say that this is literally the most expensive 10mm socket you could buy in the world. Well, guys, thank you for watching. I found this super cool. I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna make sure I don't chip it or anything like that. But we appreciate you checking out the video. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.